Welcome back. It's so good to see you. Give me 1 second. I just have to click this thing, see if I can make it work. Hang on a second here. There. It has been a very, very interesting start to the month of April, otherwise known as birthday month. Day two. And we have some very strange, crazy weather happening this week because, well, why not? We have a sudden thing coming from, I don't know, Ohio, uh, Tennessee, and it's coming with all kinds of wind and rain, and then the temperatures are going to drop, and then we'll get something a little bit more slushy or slishy or whatever, and then maybe some snow and then some rain. And then Mother Nature will say, good God, what was that? And presumably we will be easing our way into spring just in time for my birthday. And so that leads me to the story, the theme, the purpose of the video today, because I've been having some very, fascinating, really cool, interesting conversations with people recently. And I've noticed something. And I don't know if you have noticed that I'm kind of a profiler. I'm kind of looking at patterns and I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen next. So I know whether to go like this or go like that or go like this or like this. I'm trying to see the trend before it's trending, and I want to talk about it today because I think it's probably good timing for us. Anyway, before I get to that, I just want to say this is a very exciting time as well for this whole project, this whole evolution of me doing these videos and getting you kind of intrigued enough to get in the boat with me to explore the kinds of things I'm discussing, the kinds of coping mechanisms that I myself perfected and live with and live by, and they've kept me sane and facing the front, feeling pretty good. Well, good morning, Miss Susan. How are you? And so, in gradually expanding, first I was doing it just on Facebook, and then I added YouTube, and then Billy was showing me how I could do Facebook and YouTube at the same time, and now I'm adding in LinkedIn. And I've recently met some people who have connections to fairly large groups of people. And what I'm trying to do in building out our tribe is connecting the stories and connecting the momentum, if you like, so that if we get everybody nodding at the same time, good morning, Freddie, it's wonderful to see you. If we get everybody nodding at the same time, leaning at the same time, the idea is that we'll row faster and get there sooner. So for the new people joining, for the people in the groups that I have just become a member of, for the LinkedIn folks, my name is Abby Hagyard. My claim to fame was an accidental slip sideways, fall backwards, and end up on a television series for children back in the 1980s that accidentally became a viral sensation, a global phenomenon. The show was called You Can't Do That on Television. It was an opportunity for children to feel like they were in charge. Brilliantly written. The kids were amazing. The coaching was incredible. And the other adult actor, Leslie, and I got to portray all of the frustrating, irritating adults in these children's lives. And it was the best of times. It wasn't even the worst of times. It was the best of times. And along with that, there was a lot of animation done in the 80s in Ottawa, and I was fortunate enough to get cast to work on things like the Care Bears and Teddy Ruxpin and For Better or For Worse and all that other stuff. So there was a real tsunami, if you like, of work taking place that just happened to hit the global audience at the right time through the right channels. And really that is a lot of how life happens to us. We take a step, nothing. We take another step, nothing. We take another step, and then all of a sudden, Shazam, or oh my God, and we get caught up, bogged down when we're busy over here, not paying attention over here. Because when we're not watching, we can't see how it happened. If it was a good thing, we'd love to be able to replicate it. We'd love to be able to do it again. If it's a terrible thing, we'd love to avoid it at all costs. If we weren't watching, if we haven't figured out what caused this to do that, it's a crapshoot. And if I've learned one thing as a military brat, uncertainty can just suck the life right out of you. Because if you're uncertain, you don't know whether to keep going, you don't know whether to stop, you don't know whether to wait, you don't know whether to come up with plan B. You go into freeze, hide, panic, fall down if you're not aware of the stuff. So on the video today, and for the newcomers, what I'm doing with these videos is teasing my way into and bringing along with the kinds of people who would benefit from this project I'm working on. And so the video today, the question I asked was, what makes you feel safe? And the reason I asked it, and then I followed up that ask with, is it your routine? Is it your role? Is it your space? What is the thing that makes you say, oh, and stop worrying? What gives you that feeling that you might not got this, but somebody on your behalf got this with you, for you? And the reason I wanted to ask the question, what is it that does it for you, is very simple. If we don't know the what, and we don't know the why, we can't get it back if it goes away. We can't rebuild it if it breaks. If we don't know what it is, how do we know it's broken? All we know is that we don't feel the same. So it's a little bit of homework to do. I'm not talking about walking around, navel gazing all day. And I'm not talking about, well, good morning, Paul. Lovely to hear from you. Where we find our safety is the place where we feel heard, seen, valued, and therefore protected. If we make a contribution that changes for the better, then the assumption, logical, is that everyone around us will protect us. What happens to us then when something shifts that we didn't see coming? And all of a sudden, those people aren't there to step up. Something in their immediate world has shifted as well. And they're a little busy at the moment, juggling flaming chainsaws to step up for us the way they used to, the way we count on them to. And that's very unsettling. And now we're back at the word uncertainty. Do I keep going? Do I stop? So, so as a military kid, here's what happens. Every 15 minutes, your normal isn't. Your normal has gone. And some great invisible other has said, you are now going here. Here's the boxes, start packing. And you can't discuss it, and you can't dig in your heels, and you can't stop it. It's inevitable. So when you grow up in that environment, and your parents and your immediate family seem to feel that this is the normal, then after you're upset, the next thing, since being upset doesn't change anything, what you then learn to do is cope. What you then learn to do is compensate. What you then learn to do is get ahead of the curve. You watch cause and effect. You see, if this happens and then that is the outcome and I don't like that, then what can I do? Do I just stand here, or can I, and depending on our personality, depending on our hunger, depending on our need, Um, we either take action, we fall down, we run away. Not too many options. And Paul says, my business partners make me feel safe. Well, isn't that a wonderful thing? My dad is my safe space. As long as I'm with him, I know I'm going to be okay. Yeah, that's an amazing thing, isn't it? To have that person who just gets you. So, what I wanted to talk about today is this: a safe space, a feeling of safety, a feeling of sanctuary, a feeling of this is where I can be me, this is where I can breathe, this is where everything is no worries. And then something happens. So, tornado watch, friend of mine in Tennessee. It's 72 today. In a couple of days, it's supposed to go down to 30. In the meantime, tornado watch, level 5. Okay, so what do you do? What do you do? Your safe space is what? Your cave. Your safe space is your home. Your safe space is all your stuff. And they're calling for wind gusts of up to how many? So what are you going to do to protect your safety? Where are you going to go? Do you hunker down? Do you take a mad dash out and pick up supplies? Do you have alternate things to do when the power goes out? Are you planning to fill your safe space with safe things so that you feel safe? Or are you standing there looking out the window every 15 minutes, checking the weather forecast to wonder if they're wrong? We all address these things in our own unique way. My children on my home couch corner makes me feel safe. Yes, yeah, yeah. Your children make you feel safe when they're, you know, not being astonishing. You'll never guess what he did today. Surprise! Freddie, oh, Freddie. Freddie just said this is a safe space. Thank you. That's very, very lovely. And I appreciate it immensely because this feels like a safe space to me too. In fact, when hurricanes are coming, we head north and west. Good plan. So last year and the year before, when all of a sudden my safe space was invaded by illness, and I suddenly became the frantic commuter on highways going to and from hospitals to try and figure out what I can do, what my role is, how I can help carry the burden and the load from here to the other side. My safe space was doing these videos. My safe space was giving myself permission to take a time away from leaning in, to be here, to be me, to do this, because the energy that comes back to me is 1,000 times stronger because I know you're there and I know we're having this conversation. And when I would finish my video, I would say, okay, then let's do this. And it was a completely different energy that surrounded me than the energy that I'd had at the beginning. And this is the key, I think. If we don't know why we feel safe, if we don't know what it is about that trigger that makes us feel safe, we don't know how to substitute, how to repair, how to fix, how to change. We have no idea how to make it better when something gets in the way. We're spectators. And that means that we can't count on that feeling of, that means that our is in someone else's hands, not ours. If we don't do the work, I say take time to celebrate yourself daily. Yes, yes. So sanity is your safe space. Yes, yeah. So my friend Susan has this clinic, this integrated healing, and she does the massage, and she does the energy work, and she does the talking with people, and she investigates where their energy is. And when they're not looking, she gives them an energetic boot upside the head to rebalance them. And they say, I don't know what you just did, but I feel a lot better. That's not exactly how it goes. I know, Susan. I know. I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing. My bad. What we do to give ourselves permission to let our guard down, to just be the essential us, with all our other hats set aside. Some of my hats are there, and give ourselves permission to take our shoes off, and give ourselves permission to sit back and say, oh, whew, what a day, and regroup and breathe. And, Susan and I were having a conversation the other day about challenges that come along. And when we're not sure where our safe space is, and we're not sure what the path is about, for why we're on it, where it's taking us, why we want to get there, if we're just kind of going through the motions, a sudden surprise out of nowhere can be really unsettling, really unsettling. And the crazy thing is, things change all the time. It's not new. As one of my Facebook people said, they have tornadoes a lot down in that part of the States. So why are they surprised? Because we're always surprised. It's April. It's just the beginning of April. And everybody's going, oh my God, it's going to snow again? Well, okay. But you know what? It's April. That's where we are. So it would be odd if it wasn't going to snow. It would be very odd, very tropical and crazy, if we were in the 80 degrees nonstop since March. Nobody up here would know what to do with that. So the uncertainty is our normal. Uncertainty is how we shift, how we change. There is a moment in the shift. Good morning, Charles. It's good to see you. You have to do the work. Yeah, and it's not easy. And we forget a really important thing that we are incredibly good at, brilliantly good at. We know how to defy gravity. And I'm not talking about weight loss things. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is, every time we run anywhere, no matter how slow, how fast, whether we're jogging, whether we're sprinting, whether we're marathoning, every jump we take from one foot to the other, because running involves a leap, walking, not so much. Every leap step we take, there is a moment when both of our feet are off the ground at the same time. Split second. Nevertheless, every step. And do you remember the first day in your life that you ran somewhere? Do you still run somewhere? That means that you have run somewhere every day for every day of your life. That means that every day you have defied gravity. Every day. And you know what none of us do? In those split seconds, when both our feet are off the ground and we're not tethered to anything, none of us is going, oh my God, we're all going to die. A, we don't have time. And now I want to do a video of that. No, me too. But no, I can't get that out of my head. We don't go into full-on mind-numbing panic in every leap in our run. We don't go into mind-numbing, soul-destroying panic in the middle of something, because we're busy. We're busy. When you see the aftermath of an accident, you're driving down the highway and you see something impossible, like there's a car in a tree, up in the branches of the tree, or you're driving by and you see there's a car sticking out of a store or a house or wedged in between two light poles. My thought always is, I'll bet that was a very busy 10 seconds. Busiest 10 seconds so far. Why? Because panic, 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 move, 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 blink, 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 process, process, process. We are brilliant at uncertainty. We do uncertainty better than any creature, any organism. We're bred for it. We're born to it. So why do we freeze? Why do we go numb? Why do we go still? Why do we stand on one foot and wait for instructions? What's that about? I think what it's about is we don't know what it was that made us feel safe. We didn't examine it. We didn't look at it. We didn't give it a name. We just said, cool, I'm good. We didn't ask why. We didn't stock up on it. And when it's suddenly not there, what? I myself have heard me do that odd vocal thing. So I know if I do it, you do it. Why do we do that? Why do we give our power away? And okay, let's say we have to give our power away for some reason because our hands are full. Okay. But why aren't we checking who we're giving our power to? Why are we handing off everything to the first thing walking by? Hey, you want some help with that? We say, have you done this before? We don't do that. We say, yeah, here. Okay. And then it turns out the person was coming to rob you anyway, so you've saved them some trouble and they just leave with your stuff. Or they're a good Samaritan and it was a great guess. Either way. Why would we give away our power? Why would we give away our ability to say, you know how much I love this? I love this so much, I'm going to invest a little more time so I can spend more time doing it. Now, I have a couple of friends who are huge fans of writing in a journal. And I can appreciate why, because it's kind of like a debriefing at the end of the day. All right, soldier, yes, we're going to meet at this time for a debriefing. You're going to tell us what happened. And sometimes we're just too tired and we leave it till the next day. And sometimes we feel weird picking up a pen and writing about something. What would I do? What would I say? So the gift to us, to ourselves, is to create a habit, a small one, not time consuming, easier to do than delay. Mine is the question. Seeking safety and comfort in dealing with difficult things. Yes, yes, yes. Well, the police car going off right when I said you run. I have to learn to use this power for good. So here's my simple fix, my simple win. My simple win is you have numbers from 1 to 10. We know what those numbers are. 1 is at the bottom, 10 is at the top. On a scale of 1 to 10, how's your day? Pick a number. Below that, why? Why this number? And give yourself permission to answer the question. Why this number? What happened? What was visited upon you that came out of the clear blue of the western sky? Next question. What number would you like it to be? That's it. That's Journal 101. Simple, simple, simple. Stop, evaluate. How am I going? How am I doing? How do I feel? On a scale of 1 to 10, how's my day? Put the number down. Put the number down. Why? This. What number would you like it to be? So why those questions? Why that format? Why that formula? In the first place, fine and you is vague. Anchor how you feel. Give yourself permission. Make it tangible. How does it feel today? Not how am I doing? Am I showing? It's not about you. How's the day? Because the day is your safe space. It's your day. So why that number? Because, okay, what number would you like it to be? Cool. See you tomorrow. That's the simple habit. Do it every day. Every day. On a scale of 1 to 10, how's your day? Why? What number would you like it to be? What does that give you? Well, it gives you ownership, for one thing. It's your day. It already has a name. You might as well give it a number. How's it going? Why? What happened? Oh my God. I don't have enough paper to tell you what happened. Okay. What number would you like it to be? When you have ownership and when you realize that ownership is not a burden, ownership is actually giving you freedom because you get to choose how to change it. That's a thing. That's a thing. That's a different feeling. And why I want you to practice this, well, I practice it all the time. Why I want you to practice it, why I want you to get into the habit, 8. See, I can make you laugh too. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Susan, you can make me laugh. Paul, 8. Your day is an 8? Awesome. It's an 8 because of the overall pain from my wrist. Oh. Oh, you mean 8 is below? Oh my gosh. Well, what impeccable standards you have. Wow. For you, Paul. Good for you. What happens when we know there's going to be a tornado? What happens? What do we do? What our focus on whatever the thing is that is immediately right here, all of a sudden tornado. What? Okay. When? Okay. So this thing is no longer the priority. Thud. Okay, so when? Okay, list, grocery list. What do I need? Okay, go get it. Do whatever. You don't stand there and say, tornado. Well, I was going to have a nap. There. Nap under something. Maybe in the bomb shelter. We stand up and we say, wait, okay, so tornado. So that could be that, there could be some damage. There could be some danger, and I want to be safe. And I want my valued things to be safe. My people, my prizes. I want to be safe. Okay, then do the work. Do the work. Do the math. And do it fairly promptly. If you hear somebody having a conversation and you think to yourself, that's got a firm momentum behind it. Yeah, maybe I'll make a list of things I should do, just to be prepared. Not to panic, not to run in circles screaming. not to lemming off the side of a cliff, but to protect the thing that makes you feel safe. Not get away from me, just care about it, care for it. Another thing that happens when you realize that there is a thing of some kind that is going to shift the balance that we have achieved is it allows you to reset your priorities. I don't know if you've ever heard, or if you have, you remember, the two lines, don't sweat the small stuff. P.S. It's all small stuff. A sudden looming thing of some kind certainly gives us a chance to reset where we think things are and matter. So this is not going to be a long video today. It is what I wanted this video today to be, was more reflection on your side, because I wanted to set in motion the questions you're going to ask. What is it that makes me feel safe? If it gives me that sensation, how invested am I in protecting it? What am I doing to give back and support and sustain whatever that is? Is it our habits? Is it our routine? You get up, you put your slippers on, you toddle off to the bathroom, you do what you do, you come out, you put your tea or coffee on, you squeeze juice, whatever it is that you do. There's a small and sweet and silent comfort in the little things. What if something disrupted that? What if you couldn't do those things? For some reason, they were not available. You couldn't reach them. You couldn't do them now. You would go through your day missing that set of steps that gives you a feeling of comfort and familiarity and safety. Is it your job? Is it your role? If you have a job and you have a title and you have a function, I'm the mom, I'm the wife, I'm the housekeeper, I'm the CEO, I'm the gardener. So that means there's you, and then there's your role, and what you bring to the role makes the role valuable to other people. So now you're safe on two levels. You're also committed to things on two levels. And what happens if something happens to that role, that job, that function? A lot of people right now, for instance, who have many jobs that could be replaced by artificial, robotic functioning machines are worrying. Are they worrying to the exclusion of figuring out how they can do what they do differently? See, one of the things that I do with clients, and give 1,000,000% to all that I do. Yes, I'm an 8 because of the overall paper risk needed to be a 10. What we see ourselves as, what that title means, what that label means, is transferable. And I know this because out of the clear blue of the western sky, suddenly I became a mom on television. She doesn't do direction finding, she's a mom. And I'm not a mom. I don't have kids. I'm not maternal. There's nothing about me that is mom-like, except I'm a great navigator. I'm a fairly compelling storyteller, and I'm a genius navigator. And those are actually mom functions. I didn't know that. They are, however, because mom is the one who teaches us how to get from here to there. Dad, too. However, dad is often out fighting the saber-toothed whatnots, or the roles are reversed, and dad is showing us and mom is out teaching the saber-toothed whatnots a thing or two. So what happens when the kids leave home? What happens when the connection between two people fades away? If who you have allowed yourself to be in your mind is nothing more than the title you carry, is nothing more than, bigger than, underpinned by that thing that you do, that thing that the two of you did. When that shifts, when that changes, when that fades away, when that becomes another thing, who are you? It's terrifying. An empty nest, grief, loss, separation. I don't know my kids. I've always been a mom, always been a spouse. Yeah, but first and every day and all the time, over, under, around, and through all of that, you've always been you. So isn't that the safe space? Aren't you your safe space? All these other things, it's how you populate your safe space. We got this house and now I get to buy the furniture. I'm the house. You're my furniture. Together it's fabulous. Isn't that how it works? Most of the time, people forget that. Most of the time, in order to feel safe, in order to feel protected, which is perfectly reasonable, perfectly valid, we say, I'm safe because they, I'm safe because that. I'm safe because here and there and those. Yeah, yeah. You're safe first because of you. Begins with you. It makes me laugh every time somebody says, oh gosh, I'm so stressed. I just have to get away. And I tend to say, you do realize that everywhere you go, there you are. You can't leave you behind. You're you're going with. What? Oh, I know. I think I'll feel different someplace else. No, you won't. No, you won't. The novelty and the element of, gosh, I wonder where, oh my, look at that. Okay. Curiosity is a great distractor. It doesn't change you. Go the vacation, do the thing, see the stuff, eat the thing, meet the people, come home. You know who's waiting for you when you get in the house? You. And you're exhausted. Okay. Then you have to go back to work tomorrow with you, whatever your work is. Our safety is us. Our sanctuary is us. We deserve to know how we pull that off every day. We deserve to realize that the things we did were just part of the process. I have a very good friend who has recently lost his wife. And he's, normally he's a go-getter. You got to get out of his way because he's coming through. And his bride was everything. And so the normal hit the wall, fall down that we all go through. For the first time in his life, he's coming to terms with the fact that he has no idea. He has no idea how to generate his inner juggernaut without her, because she's always been there. And the transition, the hard part, is learning to be who you are again. Learning to fall back in love with the wonder of your fingers and toes. Really difficult when we haven't been doing it every day, when we haven't been saying, today was a 6, but it was a it was a hard 1-6, and I won it. Okay, all right, hug you, grab a pillow, Get some rest. Take a breath. Let it out. You're amazing. You fought the good fight. Let's try it again tomorrow. We don't do that enough. And if we don't do it for us, this is the huge critical thing that I'm talking to people about a lot these days. We're not equipped. If we don't self-care, we're not equipped to handle a crisis. If we don't take the time to breathe in the new air, the good air, the fresh air, if all we do is exhale, we fall down. I know, I just can't, I don't have the time. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Or you don't understand. Yeah, I do. The first person who's there for us is us. Once we know that, there's an interesting thing that happens. We're ready. We're ready to take it on, whatever. Every morning when I get up and I go in the bathroom and I look in the mirror, I say, it's good to see you. How you been? Because I haven't seen me for several hours. I was asleep. It's good to look in the mirror and see me looking back. And I tell me that. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I say, wow, that's interesting. We need to fix that, whatever that is. Okay, it's all fixable. The most important thing is our sense of safety, our sense of sanctuary, our sense of we got this lives here. You know, Susan does the energy work. It lives in all the different energetic spaces in us. And if there's a blockage and we don't take care of it, okay, then it won't work very well. Duh. It's the most valuable asset we have is us. And the story we tell, here's the kicker. The story we tell is how we take care of our asset. If we look in the mirror and say, you'll never amount to anything, we're right. If we look in the mirror and we hear the echo of someone's voice saying, you know, we don't do that sort of thing, we're right. If we look in the mirror and say, hey, it's good to see you, welcome back, we're right. Self-care can be abusive. Self-care can be kind. Self-care can be galvanizing. It's all our choice. All our choice. And if we rebuild and we reset and we think about the story and we say, you know what? People like us don't do that anymore. We used to. We do this now. My story needs a rewrite. I was working with a client once who told me this story about her childhood. And I said, really? What? That thing you just said. What did I say? And I repeated it back to her and she said, oh, I didn't mean that. And I said, well, yeah, you did. I know you meant it because you don't remember saying it. It's an autopilot thing. It's a reflex. You said this and then it self-triggered the next thing. And if the next thing isn't true and you didn't mean it, then you're carrying that around and it's getting in your way. It's some kind of, you know, it's lost luggage and it's not yours to own. Somebody else's. And she said, I never thought of it that way. And the story thing that she said was something about you'll never get to where you should be. And that was the thing I said, really? You'll never get to where you should be? She had already told me a little bit about the person who said that. And I said, well, their idea of where you should be, it clearly isn't the right destination. So in that case, what they said is a good thing. Because if they don't know who you are, and if they don't know what your passion is and why you're leaning into it, they can't possibly understand where it is you need to be. They've got their idea of a destination that should be yours, and it isn't. So when they say you'll never reach that, thanks, you're right. I ain't going that way. And she started to laugh. She said, I have never in my life thought of it that way. And we don't. When somebody that we are relying on to define us to us says, you'll never be this and you have to be that because people like us do things like this, we never say, yeah, but I'm not that. I'm people like us here and here, but not there. I'm not a clone. My dad was in finance. My dad was like his whole thing with the military. He was the guy who crunched the numbers, paid for the airplanes. I came home in 10th grade and I said, I made the math teacher cry today. Dad looked at me like he'd never seen me before. And he said, well, that's wrong. Big realization. Something's different about this child. Clearly, this is not me. What is that? So the story we tell ourselves and the therapy that our story, our corrected story, our updated story, our edited story, the value that that can provide is a clearer focus on who we are, what we do, what we love, and why. And story therapy is really, really easy to do. I know. I've made it my life's work. I do it with you. We're doing it now. The story today, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, humans of all shapes and sizes, is once upon a time, there was someone amazing who realized it and lived happily ever after. After what, says my inner voice? Lunch? Oh yeah, and dinner, and shopping the next day. So what I came to say today is ask what makes you safe. Don't be afraid. It ain't broke. How do you know if you don't know how it works, if you're not looking at it, if you haven't tinkered with it or fixed it or had it serviced lately? What makes you feel safe? Is it you? Is it your habits, your patterns? Is it your title? Is it your space? The key word in every question is your. What makes you feel safe is yours. Yours to own. Yours to cherish. Yours to carry you through each day. It makes us different from every other living creature. The fact that we have a story and that we can tell it and rewrite it and advise it and pick up the pen and start again. Okay, today is Tuesday, second day of birthday month. I'll be back on Thursday. I have another really cool thing to talk about. I hope you'll join me. Thank you so much, by the way, for joining me through all of these. It's incredible. I couldn't do it without you. So you know the drill, right? Be good to you because you deserve it. Hug your loved ones because they deserve it too. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.